thank you so much, Mr. Obiago, for taking the time. I have been a fan of your work in the last couple of months. From the moment my wife first told me about Afrima, I fell in love with the idea because I did not think that there was anybody else filling this gap that you have filled, which is connecting the dots between Africa, the motherland, and the rest of the world. And the best part is you're not connecting the dots with diamonds, you're not connecting the dots with gold, you're connecting the dots with music. And I think music is a powerful export that unites people of all backgrounds. So I'm forever grateful for what you're doing. But tell us something about the founding of Afrima. Why did you find it necessary to start Afrima?
Yeah, like I said, like I feel like our artists, they needed a voice out here in diaspora. I feel like they needed someone to pat them at the back for their hard work they've put into their music, the hard work they've put in. They put into preaching Africa to the world. And at that point, they were being led by the Western world. We decided to create a platform for us by us. That was how we decided. That was why we decided to come up with an award show that will celebrate their talent, their hard work, and that's how we came up with Afrema.
Amazing. That's very inspiring to me because even the founding of a Story Warrior channel, having been an educator for many years, uh, worked in dozens and dozens of countries teaching corporate executives, I decided, one thing that I'm good at is telling stories. But instead of telling other people's stories, why don't I start telling stories of fellow Africans who are doing incredible work? I call them unsung heroes with untold stories. And so when I found Afrim, I said, this is a perfect example because what you're doing is something that everybody needs to celebrate. Everybody needs to know that you're doing because you're giving a platform to others to shine. And in our own modest way, we want to start recognizing those who are doing similar work like you. So when did you first start Afrima, African Music Awards?
Yeah, 2014. We started in
2014.
2000.
That's a long time ago. And believe it or not, that was the first year or so that I listened to a song by Dibanj while flying on Emirates. I was living in Singapore. I was not the wave of African music had not touched Singapore at that time. Yet there are thousands and thousands of African professionals living there. Flying on Emirates, I see this song. I'm like, this sounds so eerily close to home. This strikes me as something that is mine. And listen to it. Is that pidgin English? It is. Is that it? It made my day. Even though I was flying home for a very sad reason, but it totally changed. It changed the pace and the sense of homecoming for me. So 2014, I did not know that you started this way, way, way back. So throughout the years, you have been connecting Africa with diaspora. Tell us some of the artists that you've brought out to the diaspora, and by so doing, give them a bigger platform to play on.
A lot of them from the rave of the moment now, Rema. Yeah,
Rema?
I did his first tour here in America. I did Davido's first tour
Wow.
here in America. I worked with Diamond Platinum, Fali Pupa. I've worked with Awilo Logumba. I've worked with pretty much everybody in the industry.
Wow. These are
Yeah.
all big names. These are big names. For those who know, these are big names on the mother continent.
Master KG from Southern Africa. I worked with Eddie Kenzo. I worked with Wiry the Love Child from Kenya.
Mhm.
I worked with just pretty much every major artist from any region in Africa.
I didn't hear flavor, and I'm just assuming
Yeah, I worked. Yeah,
there's no need to mention flavor because okay, like okay, all right.
yeah, I
So
worked, I, did, I worked with Flavor from the beginning. I mean, from the inception of his career till
wow,
date, and
wow.
yeah, pretty much Two Face, Timaya,
Mhm.
just name it.
Interesting. And the other part of your business interest is fashion. Um, I watched the fashion show recently. Tell us what are some of the highlights of the fashion show? Is it specifically the talent that is in the motherland, or mostly the talent that is in diaspora that you're promoting, or both?
It's a mixture of both. We have, I think we had about eight designers from the continent and about maybe six or seven
Mhm.
from diaspora. We had one from England, we had one from Canada, and a couple within the United States. So it's like a mixture of homeland
Okay.
and designers here in diaspora.
Okay. And in diaspora, which are the cities that are resonating well with the Afrimma um, uh, shows that you've been putting up over the years?
I think all the cities we always get a huge turnout from different cities.
Yeah.
They already know about it. They've been a part of it. They've always supported it.
Mhm. Is Atlanta on your map or as Georgia? Is Georgia on your map? I know you've mentioned Dallas, Texas. You mentioned Houston. You
Yeah,
mentioned DC. Have you done any shows in
I've done a
Atlanta?
lot of I've done a whole lot of concerts in Atlanta. I did a couple of concerts there this year and last year. Yeah, I've always done concerts in Atlanta. Atlanta is like a second home.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I would expect that because Atlanta is very cosmopolitan, and it has been the hotbed for support of African culture in many ways. So, besides America and Canada, have you also thought about our lost brothers and sisters in places like Asia? Because there is an increasing number. I would almost consider myself half Asian because I spent 10 years over there that don't get to have a flavor of this amazing work that you're doing here. Have you forgotten about them?
No, I mean right now I live here in America, and my focus right now is here, America, and then my workshops in Africa.
Mhm.
That's my primary focus for now. Hopefully, in the nearest future, hopefully we'll get to explore those areas.
Okay. What are the big challenges that you face? I imagine there should be a lot of them that you face in the course of cutting new ground, trailblazing, getting people to listen, getting people to pay attention. As the years go by, what are the challenges that you're facing?
The same challenges that minorities face in America. They don't really believe in your story. They don't really believe in your numbers. They don't really believe in your culture. So, like I said earlier, but now the story is gradually changing because the world is beginning to listen to African music. So now the music gets you into those doors, and then your story will not keep you inside that room. So
Hmm.
yeah, the doors are opening, but they're opening gradual, and I hope it's gonna keep getting better year in year out. You know.
We want to thank you so much for being uh, an avant-garde, for being a trailblazer, for being a torchbearer of African music, African fashion, African culture to the rest of the world. I absolutely appreciate what you're doing, and I believe most of our viewers, whether they're in Asia, whether they're in America or in the Middle East, I believe that they would appreciate what you're doing because you're connecting the dots. You're building bridges of understanding. You're not forcing people apart, you're bringing people together. And yes, I don't think that Rolling Stone is wrong. The amount of $44 million that is going into the pockets of African musicians who support Afrobeats from just Nigeria alone is going to continue to grow. And I believe with that, more and more people will continue to discover the beauty that lies hidden in the heart of Africa. That is our music, our culture, our interest in expressing or telling our stories. Thank you for telling stories through music. Thank you for connecting the cultures. We are very grateful to you, Mr. Obiago. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Have a great
Thank
day.
you. You too.